Hey, I'm the 13th Wolfman. And you know what? My buddy, the Movie Phantom, he's been doing this top 3 thing for a while. And I've kind of gotten behind. So I'm going to do like one long... it's one long, makeup video for this. So, there's quite a few different categories. Just going to start at the furthest one back and work my way up to the most recent ones. So the furthest one back is top 3 Christopher Lee movies. Coming in at number 3 is The Curse of Frankenstein. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I love the Hammer Frankenstein stuff. And I think that's really where we saw Christopher Lee for the first time in Hammer horror. Even though he's more iconic as Dracula. So number 3, Curse of Frankenstein. Number 2, City of the Dead. Very cool movie out of 1960. Love this movie. I have a couple of different copies of it. It's one of those films that's in public domain, so. Coming in at number 1, Horror Dracula, of course. Yeah, I have a tendency to do the horror thing. I mean, yes, he's Count Dooku. Yes, he's been in all these Lord of the Rings movies, but I don't see those. They don't ring my bell, let's put it that way. Well, the Star Wars stuff does, but the Lord of the Rings, no. So that's the top 3 Christopher Lee movies, in my opinion. Curse of Frankenstein, City of the Living Dead, Horror Dracula. And now on to... Coming in at number 3, White Zombie. Coming in at number 2... I really don't have a reason for why White Zombie's number 3. I like the movie. And Bela Lugosi, as big as he was as Dracula, his career never really exploded. He did a lot of the more low budget type stuff. A lot of the B movies. So, White Zombie. Coming in number 2, Black Cat. I think I've seen a few different versions of the movie Black Cat. I really like his. And of course, number 1, Dracula. Of course. So again, they are White Zombie number 3, Black Cat number 2, Dracula number 1. And now on to From Dusk Till Dawn comes in at number 3. I love it. It's a great movie. Robert Rodriguez directed it. Quentin Tarantino wrote it. Great vampire film, but there are better. From a Whisper to a Scream, one of Vincent Price's last true horror films, comes in at number 2. And I'm kind of feeling the love today for Universal type stuff. So, of course, Frankenstein at number 1. I mean, you can't go wrong with the whole, Universal thing. Boris Karloff did an incredible job. He pulled his teeth to give him more of a gaunt look, the sunken in cheek thing. I mean, everything about that movie is perfect, if you ask me. So, recap of that. We have From Dusk Till Dawn number 3, From a Whisper to a Scream number 2, and Frankenstein number 1. On to coming in at number 3, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Hated this movie. I didn't really care for Halloween either. Rob Zombie's Halloween. I hate any time they try to make you sympathize with the killer. He's a killer. Who cares? Coming in at number 2, Exorcist, The Heretic. Exorcist 2, The Heretic. It's not the worst, part 2 horror film, but it's pretty weird. It's all that late 70s, psychology type stuff, and it's just odd. And of course, I'm coming in number one. Everyone knows what the worst sequel to a movie is, and that's Troll 2. So, there you go. I mean, Troll 2 was just bad. It had nothing to do with the original movie. So there you go. Halloween 2, Exorcist 2, The Heretic, Troll 2. And again, like I said before, we're on to a category, and I hate this word. I always have ever since it was created. We're on to top 3 torture porn. I don't call it torture porn. I call it, exploitation or extreme, whatever you want to call it. But give me a break. Torture porn is such a stupid phrase. So, Saw 2 comes in at number 3. I love Saw 2 next to the first Saw movie. Saw 2 is probably my favorite. So you got Saw 2 coming in at number 3. Turistas, a movie no one talks about, coming in at number 2. And, of course, Hostel, coming in at number 1. I could have used Hostel 1 and 2, but because I love them both. But I wanted to mix up the category. So, but yeah, I love Hostel. I saw the first 2 both in the theater. So I mean, I love it. So recap again: Saw 2, Turistas, and Hostel. And here we go on to. So, coming in number 3 is The House on the Edge of the Park. David Hess. Love this movie. Love this movie. Got nothing but good things to say about it. It's actually the movie that Last House on the Left should have been. This movie is so much better. So, coming in at number 2, The Night Train Murders. I know a lot of people are like rolling their eyes and going, "What the hell? What movie's that? The Night Train what?" Night Train Murders, 1974 Italian movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a lot of people say it's Last House on the Left on a train, but again, it's better than the original Last House on the Left, because the original Last House on the Left sucks. It's that simple. And coming in at number 1 is the original I Spit on Your Grave. I love this movie. I think this movie is superior to the remake. The MoviePhantom said in the remake that he loved the way that the girl, trapped these people. That was one thing that bothered me, was in the remake, she all of a sudden becomes MacGyver and creates these really, these wicked little traps. But come on, there's that. And the other thing, the fact that the cops are the cop is involved, in the remake, that bugged me. It ruined the entire suspense of the film. So again, we've got House on the Edge of the Park, Night Train Murders, and the original I Spit on Your Grave. And check out Night Train Murders if you haven't seen it. Now we're on to okay, so Countess Dracula, from the movie Countess Dracula. Just love these. I love this late 60s, early 70s vampire films. They went from being, straightforward horror to almost softcore porn in some of them. But, I mean, there was still a horror element to it. Just, hey, lots of nudity and lesbianism. So. Number 2 is... Oh, I can't think of her. I just blanked on her name. Kathy Bates' character in Misery. Yeah, see, this is the top 3 female horror villains, so I would definitely put her in the top 3. When she cobbles James Caan's ankles, oh my god, that's just wrong. And number 1 is, of course, I mean, I know that she gets picked on, but she's still a villain because she kills a lot of people. That's Carrie White from Carrie. No matter which version. I mean, whether it's the remake, which with Chloe Grace Moretz, which I liked, or the original with Sissy Spacek, which I liked. So, we've got Countess Dracula, Kathy Bates from Misery. For some reason, I just cannot come up with the character's name. And some of you probably will do it for me. And Carrie White. And now we're on to... And Movie Phantom says that the word nightmare, if it's a like Nightbreed or Nightmare, you know, where it's one word, that doesn't count. He's looking for night as it being a separate word altogether. And in this case, we have coming in at number 3, The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave. Love this movie. We need a really... I want Synapse or Severin or one of those guys out there, one of those, you know, entities out there to do really good restoration on this movie. I would love for someone like that to do it and put it out. Number 2, Night of the Comet. Kelly Maroney. Everyone knows I'm a big crush on Kelly Maroney. And number 1, no surprise here, 1968 black and white George Romero film called Night of the Living Dead. So that's it, my friend. The Movie Phantom. Damn, dude. This episode went long. This is 14 minutes. I hope you enjoy it. I'm glad I'm finally all caught up. Sorry, I've been missing the top 3s for a while. Just, you know how it is. With that, I'm the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.